people that participate.
Maybe I'll just speak. That might be a bit faster.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, one of the first things you mentioned at the outset of this meeting was wanting to get things done quickly, and of course perfection being the enemy of good. And what is already in the zeitgeist of decentralized governance is the voting system that was created by the IOTA people. That's open source, isn't it? And the Bloom wallet to adapt to work on TAN, if TAN's using a Shimmer foundation, would be trivial to get that working. And so you would have an instant out-of-the-box voting solution right now. And if a new voting system needs to be discussed and voted on, then we have a voting system to vote on it. Whereas going with the discourse, one vote, one value, that's fine in a large population democracy, but I think people who have invested, and I'm not one of them, people who have invested lots and lots of money into the infrastructure, I think traditionally and I think appropriately have a little bit more of a voice, which is why that 2-week staking voting the IOTA system has is actually a very good idea.
I totally agree. I mean, I think really we should just copy the whole thing. Because
is there a reason that can't be done, at least in the first instance, to then have these conversations about how to change governance? Is there any reason we can't go copy paste? That was, I thought, the original thought of what to do, because they're moving away from the free network. If we copy paste Shimmer, we also copy paste the voting system, and we're good to go from more or less from day one.
Well, that's a good question for Garrett. I don't think I wrote it as an action item, but I think we might have discussed it about, was there any ETA timeframe that Bloom could implement that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And so I talked to Charlie, and so basically he also mentioned we can just fork it because it's all open source.
Exactly.
Because for them, they would be happy to support. The only thing is that it's not their priority, and all the startup companies have lots of their own priorities, even though it's just adding a chain for them. So I will just confirm with him. If it takes a little bit longer, and we think it's too long because we don't want to wait, and then we can have another solution like fork it, and it can be quite simple. But maybe, like, let's say last time we also mentioned if we want to see some community dive, if it's possible for them, for example, if they are interested to do it, and but also we need to audit, for example, like Tangle or some other team, like other third party want to audit it just to make sure it's secure. Then actually we can adopt the plan, and do it. So I think except we need to get over some of the difficulties here I mentioned. Then I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's good. And also I need to check the framework also, because I'm not that 100% familiar with the current IOTA governance framework. For example, they need what's the criteria, like the percentage as a minimum part, just to make sure that we can have the right plan. And another thing is, like, we don't have enough real distribution to the community. For example, like only 0.2, 0.3% of the token is actually purchased in the market. So maybe we can say like the 0.2, 0.3% can count as 100%. So for this, I think we also need like some guideline.
Sure, but that would more be policy than technology. To say, well, a certain percentage of deployed coins constitute a quorum, as opposed to a percentage of all coins. So my remix GMV said, just so there is a mechanism to vote as early as possible. Whether that mechanism is flawed or perfect is a question to put to vote in the future. But the first mechanism sounds like we can, whether it's a copy paste of Bloom or copy paste of Shimmer or both, it's available to us in the very short term. and gives us that springboard to then build and modify from there.
Hmm. I mean, I think what Garrett said, that the only problem would be that the token isn't issued, so it's that's a tough one. But I think I think we're both talking this
about the disadvantage. I'm sorry, could
Sorry,
you
what's
just expand on that tokenism problem again? I didn't quite hear what Garrett said about the drawbacks.
Sure. Like, so in the Excel sheet, if we look at my screen, so they've come out with who has tokens on L1, and then there'll be the airdrop to current IOTA and Shimmer token holders, and then
I think it's so I think maybe the question is like the current 10 token holding, because it's already like some people have 10 token in their layer one. I mean, not layer one, but
Yes.
like it's actually in on Binance Smart Chain now. So now the people they purchase it is on Binance Smart Chain, and so that's a little
Bloom
problem.
do it.
So
Right.
so that's a small problem.
yeah, I just think it's they haven't actually airdropped the token, so essentially people
On layer one. Yeah. But
Yeah.
but the plan was that we can support the bridge. They can bridge back to vault, but it's also like a little bit headache for people, probably the holders. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
though
In the
let's
longer run, I think the Bloom can definitely work. Yeah. For layer one.
I mean,
Yeah.
and I think that's ultimately the vision. And what we could do, I mean, we could do, again, if Bloom, because Bloom holds, correct me if I'm wrong, Garrett, if Bloom integrated TAN, then it could it host the layer 2 TAN token? Like, I mean, I suppose it.
I think just now I got muted somehow. But I think Bloom mainly they use the IOTA framework, the open source code. They just make it work in the wallet. So basically that is only for layer one. But there are definitely like EVM kind of solutions out there, and so in that case, so we need to confirm if we want in a longer run, want the governance voting happening on layer 2 or layer 1. If on layer 2, maybe we can find another solution on Binance Smart Chain. But the thing is that there will be people always having their token on layer 1 or layer 2. But even for IOTA, I don't think you can vote on both layer 1 and layer 2, right? Or you can. I really can't remember.
No, you're right. You're right. That was always an issue. What was that one we were going to use? It's a layer 2 voting system, and it even shows the wallets in a visual description. I'll look into that. What was that? Because that was pretty good.
Yeah, we can do that. So it will be like a kind of MPC bridge which we built before, and yeah, so that can be a solution, but we need to build it. Yeah, it will take a little bit time. Yeah.
Okay.
Like weeks. Yeah.
It would ultimately be the what did Tangle pay? I mean, their IOTA B. Is it IOTA B? Was that what it was? The bridge?
Yeah, actually, the bridge is more like it's like a voting system. IOTA B just use the front end, so there's a place people can actually do the bridge part. Actually, we just need like a website to do that, but behind it, we need to build the bridge, the coding.
Mhm.
And but the MPC you also need like validators things if you want to make it like a 100% safe one, or you can make more like a centralized one to start with. it's
Right.
it's
right.
always a question here. But for example, like Zoom token or some of the token actually they accept more centralized solution, then we can do it faster because we don't need to set up the MPC validator system, which actually was really complicated, but decentralized. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Edward's saying Bloom supports EVM. Tangle 2 is EVM. So we should ask, do you want to ask Charlie, Garrett, like, how does TAN layer 2 EVM get integrated into Bloom?
Oh, got it. So this is a good question. So it's like, because TAN, currently we even didn't running a layer 2 yet. So it's like,
Well, I mean, the
Tangle layer
BSC
1.
token, let's say the BSC token.
BSC token?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. So BSC token EVM probably can be a solution. I need to confirm with Charlie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, maybe just confirm that. And there was a discussion of just forking whatever wallet is easiest. I think also something to think about too is if we were to fork Firefly, then someone needs to always maintain that, right? If we get to the point where we can get an L1 integrated into Bloom, that seems like a better option because Bloom is incentivized through multiple ecosystems to maintain that wallet, right? I think it was Remix or someone said maybe it's an option to incentivize Bloom to integrate the token. I definitely understand teams having priorities, and they're probably going to prioritize the one that can bring some income in. So that might be something to, but I'm not sure we're there just yet to launching the L1 network because we still need to make decisions of can we even incentivize some devs to help fork that L1 network and help Tangle Pay and stuff. So again, I think ultimately the vision is to get to L1 voting in a wallet for governance. But how do we even get there, right? And Edward, back to your point, is like, yes, we have the system that we can fork, but even before that, there's still decisions to be made, even to get there. How difficult it is to get network of fork shimmer servers running for TAN. It seems to me that creating a network that supports existing wallet and voting tech like Groove at an early stage, I think incentivizing servers with some TAN might be doable. Exactly. Like, how do we even get to the point of launching that network? And then I think incentivizing is a good idea. Seafarer is working on that. But ultimately, the question is, how much do we want to incentivize? And how do we make that decision? Like how do we vote on that as a community and reach consensus before even there is a network? And I think that's step one, right? You don't? I don't understand. You want to just talk?
Yeah, good idea. You're kind of going around in circles here, JD. How do you vote on a voting mechanism without a mechanism to vote?
Right.
Right. There's a point where you just got to make some decisions. There's no voting mechanism, and you can't vote on a voting mechanism fairly if there's no voting mechanism. Right. Some things have to be set up before anybody can have a say at anything. And if maybe if you really want to have everything, even decisions that can't be yet voted upon later, do that. Set up a copy and paste of the Shimmer network, which was the plan. That gives us Bloom.